Days of Our Lives, Tuesday, March 10. Spoilers, Brady steps up. Kristen loses it. And Ari's date goes sideways. Okay, buckle up. Salem fans, because Tuesday's episode is not playing around. We've got a brother stepping up when it matters most. A Demera absolutely unraveling at the seams. A teenager walking straight into danger with hearts in her eyes. And Leo Stark, bless his chaotic little soul, getting back on his feet. I'm telling you right now, if you skip this episode, you are going to regret it. So let's get into it. Every single detail. ARI and LIAM, the most dangerous date in Salem history. Let's start with the youngest drama unfolding in Salem. Because honestly, this Ari and Liam storyline is giving me anxiety in the best possible way. So here's where we are. Liam Saleko reaches out to Ari Horton and asks her on a real date. Not a casual hangout, a real, intentional. I like you and I want to take you somewhere. Nice date. And you know what? Ari says yes. Of course she does. She's been feeling that spark. We've all seen it. And she's at that age where you just throw yourself into the feeling without overthinking it. And look, I get it. I really do. Liam seems sweet. He's charming. He pays attention to her. But here's the thing that keeps nagging at me as a longtime Days watcher. Salem has a type when it comes to romantic interests who seem perfect at first. Remember when Abigail fell for Ben Weston, the guy who turned out to be the freaking necktie killer? Remember when Jennifer thought Jack was gone forever and let herself fall for someone new? Only for everything to implode spectacularly. Salem doesn't do uncomplicated. And Liam has secrets. Dark ones. The spoilers are already warning us that his involvement in criminal activity is about to blow up in a very significant way, and the timing couldn't be worse. Because Ari's going to be right there when it happens. Their date isn't just going to be ruined. It could put her in actual danger. Now, here's my hot take. And some of you might push back on this. I actually think this storyline is one of the smartest things the writers have done with Ari in a long time. Think about it. She's Will Horton and Gabi Hernandez's daughter. Two characters whose entire arcs were defined by loving the wrong person. By getting tangled up in situations that were bigger and scarier than they anticipated. The show is essentially running the same thematic DNA through a new generation. And I find that genuinely compelling when it's done well. The question is, will Ari have inherited her parents' resilience? Because she's going to need it. Fast. Brady and Belle, a sibling bond that never gets enough credit. Alright. Let's talk about something that I feel like doesn't get enough appreciation in the Days fandom, the Brady and Belle sibling relationship. Because Tuesday, we're getting a moment between these two. And I am here for it. Belle is struggling. Something has hit her hard, and the leading theory right now is that this is another wave of grief crashing over her in the wake of losing John Black. And if that's the case, then this scene is going to be gutting. Because losing John wasn't just losing a father for Belle. John Black was the man who defined what it meant to be loved unconditionally in her life. Drake Hogestyn brought such warmth and dignity to that role for decades. And the loss of his character is still reverberating through Salem's families in ways that feel deeply real. Brady shows up for her. Full stop. No conditions. No drama, just a brother being present. Now, I need to say something here. Because I've seen some viewers over the years dismiss Brady as a character who's always caught up in his own romantic disasters, the Kristen cycle, the Teresa situation, everything with Nicole. And yes, fine. The man has made some spectacular romantic choices that I would describe charitably as chaotic. But when it comes to his family, Brady Black consistently shows up. He showed up for his father. He showed up for Tate. And now he's showing up for Belle. This is actually a callback to a dynamic that goes all the way back to when these two were figuring out what the relationship even looked like, the son John always knew about versus the daughter Marlena raised. There was tension there, once. Distance. But the writers have slowly beautifully built them into something genuine over the years. Tuesday's scene feels like the payoff of that long investment. And here's what I really want to say. Grief storylines in soaps are only as good as the relationships built around them. Belle's grief lands harder because we believe in her and Brady's bond. That's good writing. And I'll die on that hill. Kristen's meltdown. Oh, here we go. Okay, deep breath. Let's talk about Kristen DiMera. You know, I have a complicated relationship with this character, and I think most long-term Days fans do too. There are moments, fleeting, brilliant moments where Stacey Hyduck shows you the real, raw, wounded woman underneath all the manipulation and the scheming. And then there are moments where Kristen just detonates. And Tuesday is apparently one of those detonation days. Here's the thing though, can we actually blame her? I mean, really? Let's lay out what Kristen has been dealing with lately and just sit with that list for a second. The situation with Rachel has been emotionally brutal. Watching her relationship with her daughter fracture, the one thing Kristen has always claimed she would burn the cow. A whole world down to protect. That's not nothing. That cuts to the core of whatever humanity she has left. Then there's Peter Blake coming back into the picture, which stirred up decades of DiMera family trauma. The confirmation of Stefano's death, the final confirmation. After years of is he really gone, which means Kristen can no longer project herself as someone who answers to a higher DiMera authority. In a strange way, Stefano was always Kristen's emotional reference point, even when she was defying him. Without him, she's unmoored in ways she probably doesn't fully understand yet. And then Brady and Sarah. Oh, this is the one that's really eating her alive, isn't it? Because with Kristen, jealousy isn't just an emotion. It's a trigger. It goes all the way back to her obsession with John and Marlena, the original wound that shaped everything about who she became. Watch the pattern across 30 years of this character's history whenever Kristen perceives that she's being replaced or passed over by a man she's fixated on. She doesn't just get sad. She transforms. She plots. She schemes. She does things that guarantee the very outcome she was trying to prevent. Psychologically speaking, what we're watching with Kristen is textbook self-sabotage, rooted in deep abandonment issues. The meltdown on Tuesday isn't random. It's inevitable. It's been building since the moment Brady started giving Sarah attention. My prediction: this emotional outburst is going to be the inciting event for whatever Kristen does next. Because Kristen doesn't just cry and move on. She plans. And a Kristen with a plan and nothing left to lose, that's the most dangerous thing in Salem. Mark my words, whatever she does next is going to create a ripple effect that nobody is prepared for. Elio and Dimitri, the unlikely dream, team returns. And finally, because no Tuesday in Salem is complete without a little chaos energy, we have Leo Stark. First of all, can we just acknowledge that Leo Stark is one of the most unexpectedly layered characters this show has produced in the last decade? He started as a villain, a full-on scheming, manipulative antagonist, and somewhere along the way, Greg Ricart found this vein of genuine vulnerability in him, and the writers ran with it. And now we have this deeply flawed, deeply human character who you love even when he's doing objectively terrible things. The Javi situation has clearly left a mark on Leo. You can see it. He's been walking around with that particular kind of hurt that comes from letting your guard down and getting burned. And I think a lot of fans underestimate how rare it is for a character like Leo to actually feel something romantic. He's usually the one with the walls up, the quip ready, the deflection polished. But Tuesday, Leo is dusting himself off, shoving that heartbreak into whatever compartment he keeps these things, and refocusing on what matters right now, helping Dimitri. And honestly, the Leo and Dimitri partnership is one of my favorite unexpected dynamics the show has going right now. These two shouldn't work together. Their personalities clash in every conceivable way. But there's a loyalty there, a messy, complicated, deeply flawed loyalty that makes every scene between them crackle. Dimitri still needs to prove his innocence. The details of their plan are coming into focus, And Leo, whatever his flaws, is not the kind of person who abandons someone when they're truly up against it, which is either his greatest strength or the thing that's going to get him into serious trouble. Probably both. Knowing Salem. Deeper analysis, the week's bigger picture. Step back for a second and look at what Tuesday is actually doing. Thematically, because this isn't just a collection of disconnected scenes, there's a thread running through all of it. Every single storyline on Tuesday is about loyalty under pressure. Brady being loyal to Belle even when he has his own grief to carry. Ari being loyal to her feelings for Liam even as warning signs are starting to flash. Leo being loyal to Dimitri when he could easily walk away. And Kristen, in her broken, dangerous way, being loyal to the idea of Brady even as that loyalty is consuming her from the inside out. This is what Days of Our Lives does best when it's firing on all cylinders. It's not just about plot twists and cliffhangers, though we love those too. It's about asking over and over again, what does love cost you? What are you willing to sacrifice? And what happens when that loyalty is misplaced? The show has been asking those questions for nearly 60 years. And the fact that it's still finding new angles, new